So this week been covering SEO and how to improve your SEO, basically improve your Google search engine rankings and other search engines, of course, and direct more traffic to your website. For you, Rich. We've been here we go. We've kind of been covering this week three aspects which I consider important to SEO: content, links, or backlinks. I guess, is that what you people in the web field call it?
Oh no, I'm going to take this opportunity to disagree with everything you say, John.
Oh no,
today.
no, so those broadcasts.
No, that is backlinks are the suggested term for it. Yeah.
And then the third one, social media, obviously having an impact on SEO as well. So would you say, is there anything to add to those three at all?
I mean, usually we break it down into on-page and off-page. So the aspects of social media and backlinking, that's all off-page. So it's off your site, it's outside of your control, if you like, or at least your direct control.
Yeah.
And then on-site is the stuff you do on your website, if you like, so in order to improve your search engine ranking. Stuff like, creating pages of, pinpointed content, if you like, stuff that's, really interesting to a certain demographic or audience. And targets a certain phrase, if you like.
Yeah.
So I mean, a mixture of the two approaches is best. But you can get away with one or the other. We found in the industry. So
that sort of like helps people to focus then, really, when they're working on the SEO to split it that way.
Absolutely.
In terms of content, then, so on-site SEO in your world, what sort of advice could you give people there, and what can they do around content?
I mean, I think is the camera still on me, John? Is it? It's gone. Are we back?
We are back.
We're back.
Coffee's coming. Thank you very much.
Cheers. So your question was, what can people do on page?
Content,
with their content. So the first thing to do is to understand what it is people are searching for to get to you,
right,
and what you have to offer them. Now that a lot of people obviously come to the table with ideas of that. I mean, for me, for example, take me as an example. I might come to the table and might say, right, what I need to do is I need to structure my website around the idea of web developers in Cheltenham.
Right.
For example. Now, the problem with that being, most people who are looking for a developer actually look for a web designer when they search on Google.
Yep.
So there can be these subtle nuances in what people actually search for versus what you think they search for, and there are a lot of really nice tools out there that help you to understand, what terms people are using, and how many of them are using it on a monthly basis. Google's keyword tool is the one I use most often,
right,
but there are others in the market. SEO Moz, and I've heard SEMrush as well is good too. And
are they free or are they paid for?
The Google keyword tool, you need to sign up for an AdWords account, but you don't need to use it in order to use the tool.
Right.
So that is free, but you do need to sign up for an AdWords account. With the other two, there are free options to get you started, to have a look at things, but they're quite restrictive. So you might sort of use them, think, that looks great for me, I understand what's going on here, and then upgrade, just to get your analysis together, if you like, just to understand what people are searching for. Once you've done that, you can start tailoring your blog posts around those ideas, if you like. Usually what comes out is a list of keywords that you could actually use just as titles in your blog posts in the future. So actually what you're doing is building up a nice content plan.
Oh, I see.
And then that can then feed into your kind of your off-page stuff as well. If you're writing good content, you can then feed that out into guest posts and stuff on other blogs, which I think you've covered in a previous
you've been watching
Periscope, Jonathan.
Possibly watching some of the shows earlier this week. Yeah, I mean that brings us nicely on to backlinks actually. So just check out this coffee, folks. Look at that, very nice from Boston Tea Party. That brings us on nicely to backlinks then. So
yes.
Cutting straight to the chase. How about some good stuff on backlinks? Any idea? I mean, it's quite hard, isn't it, to get backlinks?
It is. It's very difficult. Google's made it even more difficult in recent years. So what you used to get a lot of was you'd go to somebody, you'd pay them a certain amount, and they'd get you a ton of backlinks, and that was all supposedly great.
But a bit of a cheat, though. Really.
A bit of a cheat.
Yeah.
Essentially, what they do is they'd set up networks of sites that they owned on different domains, and then they'd all link back to you. Now, what Google's done is it calls that link farming or content farming, and the latest changes in Google have penalised sites with a lot of backlinks from very similar sites, if you like. So you don't want to be doing that. Don't do that. What you really want to be doing is you want to encourage organic backlinks. So this is where viral content, or getting into the news, for example, press releases, those sort of things are really useful for.
Kind of a PR aspect to almost getting your stuff out there, so other people will start talking about it and linking back to your site.
Absolutely, and obviously a good social media campaign, which somebody like Jonathan perhaps might be able to help you with.
Me?
I know. Well, it is your Periscope. I did want to help. But that also will key into a good backlinking campaign, if you like, on the social media side of things. But if you're creating stuff that's newsworthy, content will pop up on the web around you. So, for example, if you had something in the local news here, chances are the local newspaper will also post it online, saying this is Gloucestershire. That will have a good kind of Google rank. So you'll benefit from that if you can get a backlink in there. So what I would say to people is, whenever you're being shared onto something online or digitally, make sure you get a link to your site in there if you can. Certainly, if you're doing a press release, by all means, definitely get a link in there somewhere within the content, so it can't be sort of taken out when the press release is posted or edited down. Try and make it integral to it.
That's brilliant. Thanks very much for that, and welcome everybody. Having a chance to say hello to Sarah, Elliot. I haven't got a list, so just doing this from memory. I think Sir Giles on as well. So welcome and good morning, everybody. Just still talking about SEO, which has been the theme for this week, and yesterday kicking around a few ideas on social media and how that can help. So one question for you, perhaps relating to, I guess it's not the narrow definition of SEO, but to help drive traffic to websites, you can set up social sharing buttons to blogs and news articles. How I think people are often put off by that, thinking it's a bit techy. How difficult is that to do, and is that worthwhile doing?
I think it's one of those things that definitely consumers want to see it. It's a useful signal to them that you're on there and you're present on there, and certainly if you are using social media, you should have them on there. I think there's no two ways about it. Now the actual stats on average websites for usage of them isn't fantastic, but you do get a broad range. I mean, if you go onto a news site like Mashable, for example, you'll see regularly hundreds of thousands of shares, if you like, all the way down to content that doesn't get shared at all. But I mean, in terms of answering your question, in terms of how techy is it, it doesn't have to be difficult at all. I mean, for even a basic sort of could you add this to my site using Twitter's tool? Could you add a Twitter share button to my site? Should not take somebody technically able more than an hour to do. So really to talk to somebody to do that. If you're using the WordPress platform, I'd suggest using a plugin. Something like Jetpack works really well. Jetpack has a sharing module within it. And that allows you to tailor what buttons appear on posts, whether they appear just on posts or at the bottom of various places in the website. So if you're using WordPress, it really is very easy to do. So just have a look through the WordPress plugin repository for some social sharing button plugins. You'll find plenty on there. There's also that add this, I think, but yeah, I mean, Jetpack's the one I tend to use.
Yeah. Elliot's watching, and he's just love Jetpack, but not for.
Hi, Elliot.
not for everyone though. I don't know if you know what he's getting at there.
Yeah, I mean, Jetpack gets a bit of bad press about being a bit too inclusive. It contains a lot of stuff, and that can slow your website down. And he's right to point it out. To be fair, we should make that clear. That Jetpack is a kind of, it's this size plugin rather than this size plugin, if you like. So the bigger the plugin, the more it's going to slow your website down. So if you're looking particularly just for the sharing options, you might think about something like Add This, which I mentioned before, instead, which will give you just the social sharing buttons instead.
And you've given Sarah Townsend. Hello from Russia. Let's go. You've given Sarah Townsend a new word of the day, repository. So,
there we go.
And
not to be mixed up with suppository, of course.
And several comments on your beard, Rich. So mostly positive.
Thank you, the internet.
Just spotting this number 32 on your shirt here. Is that your age, Rich? Or
it's actually I asked them to put it the other way around to represent my age. Obviously, 23. Right, no, it bears no bearing at all. It is literally just a number, as they do on clothes these days. They put numbers on them because that's fun. I don't know why.
It wouldn't be waist size, would it?
No, that would be far too small, obviously.
So this week, maybe just finish off with a bit of a round. Rita says could be a waist size.
Oh, that's nice.
Complimentary. This week, any like to sort of tell us about any projects you've been working on, or anything, any new clients, anything exciting you've been doing this week?
I'm working on. I'm continuing to work on EV People, the jobs posting board that I've mentioned in past discussions, and that's going really well. We tipped over 1,000 people in 3 weeks with a good sort of targeted pay-per-click campaign through AdWords, again doing SEO. And what else? I've been working quite heavily on a project for a client where it'll be about sort of online tendering. Businesses will put up their brief online, and then people will be able to respond to that brief within the website. So it's another big user-generated content.
Is that a new business or an existing one?
They're actually grown from an existing business. They currently sort of help clients to do tenders and find tenders. This is sort of about this is a sort of a new business that they've set up in order to sort of allow them to scale up a bit more and do it all online, if you like. It's a really interesting project, and I'm very excited to be working on it.
Excellent. So I think that's all for today, folks, for our Friday chat. Hope you enjoyed that. Just off to Laptop Friday this morning, our co-working and networking event here in Cheltenham. Just around the corner from Boston Tea Party at Smoky Joe's. I don't know if Rich is. Rich, are you going to?
Oh, you put me on the spot now, aren't you? I would absolutely love to, but I can't make it today, unfortunately. So I wish everyone a Laptop Friday, a good Laptop Friday, and I'm sure I'll catch up with the gang soon.
Thank you for that, and thank you for being involved this morning. That's brilliant. No problem. Okay, folks. So enjoy your weekend, whatever you're doing, and for those of you local, might catch up with a few of you at Laptop Friday. Thank you, Sarah. Bye for now, and back on Monday with a roundup of the latest social media news at